Hello and welcome to Wikipedia Weekly Network. Here where Albin Larsson and I, Ainali, are editing Wikidata live. How are you doing, Albin?
I'm doing great. I'm just in from a swim, so I'm all ready for Wikidata editing. And you, how are you?
I'm good as well. Also, just in from a swim.
Oh,
So we have quite lovely weather here today. So plenty of people down by the water side. I think my computer is a little bit lagging. Now it seems to catch up.
yeah.
All right. What have you been thinking about editing today or
I'm
doing?
exactly, or I'm having an ID for a new tool. So I thought I would like do the ID for it with a bit of queries and then use Pulse, this free environment for making programming things that Wikimedia have, and just make a prototype there and see how far we get. Maybe not writing in two like a finished product, but getting somewhere there and see if I should even write it to begin with. And you, Jan, what have
Uh,
you planned?
I have planned because we have the upcoming Wikimania in just a couple of weeks. So I thought it was time to look at the item for the current year and also the previous years and see what's the shape and status of them to see if we can get them nice.
Right.
All right. So I'll get started here and just share my screen. And here's the item for Wikimania 2022. And I just noticed we're so close in getting a round even number here, 97 million. So yes. What can we see? Well, I see immediately that we don't have a Swedish label and description. So let me start by adding that. That's the simple one because I can just copy it here. And I guess this would be a case where that I think it's soon upcoming
Yeah.
multilingual thing for labels. I saw things were happening in Fabricator.
Yeah, I think it's on test Wikidata in case someone wants to play with it.
That's quite literally translation of the English. So let's publish that. And now we have two instances of. We have an instance of Wikimania, an instance of Recurrent Event Edition. And I think this is actually how we do model it. But I want to make sure, and I'm going to swap back and forth and look at the previous year, because that's always a good thing to be inspired by. And it should be, yes, here we have that link, follows. So let's go over to that one and see. I remembered that we did this because we had this theme once last year as well. We added the web conference, and indeed this year it's going to be entirely online again, which of course increases accessibility for many people. So I'm actually gonna copy this one, but I wanted to highlight a little thing because we have shown this as a user script before, but since quite some time now, this is actually a gadget. So I'm gonna start by showing you how to turn that gadget on so that you get these, in my view, the green little arrows here. So they're in the preferences, which you find here in the top. And then it's under the tab gadgets. And it's already here up in the top, move. So add a move tool to the edit toolbar to move. No, that's not the one. It's the move claim.
Yeah.
Move is another thing that you will find I'll scroll down. If my browser updates these green arrows, if you want to move site links.
Oh.
Both are very useful, especially when you need to split an item or notice that one of the language versions should go to something else. So you don't have to delete and add. You can just do it once. So that's where the move claim, and as you can see, I have already enabled this one. So that's why I have these green things. And to be able to move something, you need to know where you want to move it. So I'm going to copy the QID with your little tool. And I think we do have that one, that little tool, if you want to try to use it. And now when I copied it, I'll go over here to Wikimedia 2021, and I go to this green arrow, press it once, and I get two. I can copy to another entity, or I can copy to the same entity on another statement. But now it's easy. We're just going to copy it over here. Don't want to move it. I want to have the original stay there, so I'll press copy. And get a little in the top right there, the claim was copied. So let's switch back to the tab here, and now I'll have to reload. This isn't updated in real time. Which is it's good things aren't moving further. That also means we have to close these things. All right, now we have a quite decent instance of here. Now we can come to the next one here, and these are interesting. We usually have country and location for instance of conferences, and I guess this was created before it was announced where it was going to be.
That explains it.
Yes, so someone knew, oh, it's going to be in a country. But now I think this is actually not correct. I would argue because that it would be no value, or that we could even remove it. What do you think? Should we remove the statement or add a no value?
I think we should have the new value because it's a conference that could very likely be in a country.
Yeah.
And at some point, there might have been IDs that it would be in a country, like for example here.
Yes.
And therefore, it should be new value.
All right.
It also ensures like someone won't come in and make a mistake, and that maybe I attended this separate event, or adding unknown value because there are many side events or something like that.
I agree with you. And this is not one of the easiest thing to find. So I'll press edit here, and if it loads, it's a little bit easier now. We have these three boxes here, and if I click on those, we have these no value, unknown, or custom. Custom is actually when, like, the default, when you have this box to enter something. And now I want to change this to no value. Just going to, without saving here, see that here is where I actually get this, where I could write that it possibly could have been in Thailand, but now it's not there. So I'll go to the no value. Publish that one. And I think I'm going to do the same for location. I see in the chat people are agreeing. So yes, let's do that. That's an easy edit, the no value.
An alternative could be to just have it for location, because then it's like indirectly the country.
Yeah.
But I think this works as well.
Yeah, yes. This is a little bit more explicit. And we could argue that country in many cases is redundant when we have location or something like that, but that is one way of modeling it that we have sort of accepted where we want redundant data. And it also makes a lot of basic queries much easier. You don't need to have traverse the path.
Indeed.
You can just query for country. And for some reasons, we humans are really obsessed by countries. So it's helpful. We have the part of the series. I think this is very good. We have the follows. Let's check if we had the followed by here already. I would suspect we have, because it wasn't a warning. I think, yes, so we already have the followed by here. Oh, and this one has, in the part, it also has these as qualifiers, series ordinal follows followed by. And this is sort of also a bit redundant, and it's not also totally established, I would say, in consensus in the community which one to do.
No. But was the numbers different as well? Was one 17 and one 16?
No, I think you just saw it from here.
Oh, right. Yeah, you switched tabs.
Yes. Course. But here's interesting. Here's it edition number, and here it was series ordinal. I guess they're both technically correct, but I think we should just use one of them. I'm not sure which one.
I think edition number is for like publication and such. Or is that just me?
Let's have a look.
Let's see what it says.
Yeah. Yes. Or event.
Or event, okay.
All right. So edition number seems to be a good one. But perhaps we have the edition number as the main value, and we have the other ones as the qualifier. At least I'm going to add add the follows.
We got a point from Nicholas here that he thinks the series ordinal is only
all right.
qualifier.
Yes. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So here, I'll copy this. Let's see. Suggesting series ordinal. So we'll add 17 here as well then. I don't think we have one for Wikimania 2023 yet, so I can't say followed by yet. That's going to be something. I guess we are usually getting the announcement in the end of the closing session of each Wikimania, which is going to be the next one. So that's going to be the time to create the new item. And we had the edition number, organizer, official website. This one is probably going to complain that yes.
Oh.
And now here's an interesting question, because I think it was from 2019, we started to use Wikimania as the main website for each Wikimania. Before they were wikimania2014.wikimedia.org. But now we're instead moving them to a different namespace after the event. So perhaps the 2021 should have a different one now. I don't know. So you'll access it with this one and find it in the 21 colon namespace. It wasn't the official website at the time, so we could have two different statements, perhaps, with time start and end. I don't know.
Yeah, we could have it marked as deprecated if we do not know the time stamp.
Yeah, perhaps.
So for the 2019, deprecate it and put the the namespace in?
Because if I go to this one now, it's going to look like this is for this year, which is perfectly fine. And then we see here in the left, oh, this is very small for you. Let me zoom this in quite a lot. You see. So in the left bar, we have the previous Wikimanias, and we have the last 3 years. And now the starting page is in 2019 Wikimania. So maybe this is the better URL now.
Exactly.
Let's see. So this is would be nice to get rid of these warnings. So we're gonna have the still warning for the original, but we can at least remove these two. So let's go start with 2019. Open that one. I guess someone already fixed it for 2020, or was it canceled 2020?
No.
I don't remember anymore. Oh, lots of speakers here. So this was the official website during the event. And now I want to add a new value. This is going to be the preferred one, because this is where you find it now. And we should have a start date here, but I don't know the start time when it was actually moved. So now I'm going to use this for now, the unknown value, because I guess it was like probably a month or two afterwards, or perhaps it was done in the preparation of the following that it was moved.
And this is a rather interesting like Wikidata thing. Like it's called unknown value in the UI, but it actually means it's some value that we do know, but
yes.
we can't enter it right now. And actually, if you have a look in the UI on Wikimedia Commons, they have actually fixed that and call it some value.
Yes.
But on Wikidata, we are currently stuck with unknown value.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean that it's unknown.
Exactly. Sure is that we and then I think that the second one should just be normal. It shouldn't be deprecated because it was correct at the time, but we'll add a end date here. And of course, I don't know this right now either. So I'll add the unknown. And you might think that this is like, well, why am I adding the end time if I don't know it? But this actually helps a lot when creating queries, because sometimes you don't care about which time they ended. You just know that I don't want anything that has ended. So that's easy to filter for if it has the unknown value. And of course, we do get this one, which should have a language of work or name. And I guess this one is translated to many. Where is the translation?
Yeah, it's a multilingual link also.
Yes. I'll leave that for now. It's not perfect. And then I want to do the same thing on 2021. So let's see if that's actually on the same pattern. Yes, it is. We'll go over to this one and scroll down until the website. It depends. There we have. There. Oh, It actually had a multiple languages thing. I
Oh,
should add that to the other one. All right, that was good to see. Well, let's start here to say here, add qualifier, start. And then say unknown. And then I'll actually copy this one as well here. Line. Right, that's good. Oh, I forgot the preferred. Edit again. And it's a little bit hard to actually hit the right one of these. It's very close.
indeed.
There
And
we
you
go.
can't access them with your keyboard either, which is rather tricky.
That's almost a bug, I would say.
I think there might be a bug filled for it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not a feature request to add it. It's a bug that we don't
Oh.
already have it.
Yeah, maybe.
Or almost. I mean,
Yeah.
we should have it. All right, go with that, and then clean this one up with or add more information here now. So we want the end time. And I guess this one should probably also have a starting time, because we know that 2019. Let's add that. Add this one before, and when this is figured out, we can have a nice little series. Yes, and exactly. And this was the, or why? It was the what we had before. All right, so now I think this one is done. I'm gonna go back to the 2019 add item and add the language here, multiple languages, edit, add qualifier, language. I hope I still have it here. Yes. There, and we can do it here as well. All right. Removing a few things, but this one is still going to be a warning. And yes, that seems correct. All right, what else can we add? We had the commons category already. What did we have last year? So let's see if we have. I don't think they have presented who got accepted yet, so we don't know who's going to be speakers. I don't think we even heard any keynote speakers presented. We have been, we do know the dates now. So we could add, oh, this one didn't even have the dates. Did it? Participant, a lot of participants. Oh, so let's start with 2021 to add the dates. And it was August 13 to August 21, August 17, 2021. So start. Is it 17? Yes. Oh, but I mistyped. It wasn't the 14th. It was the 13th. I'll have to correct it here. All right. And now add that to this one. And I'm always a little bit, I think I talked about this last year, a little bit hesitant about adding future dates because we're not there yet and things might happen. But I think there's a qualifier. We can say nature of statement and expected or something like that. Let's see what we can do. So now we know it's going to be starting, and let's double check here what the main page says. I think it's the 11th. Yes, 11th to 14th this year. So let's go 2022, 08, 11. And let's see if we can figure out which qualifier. Nature of statement. I think there we have the underlying. Let's have a look at that one before. Open it twice. Didn't see it. Hypothesis. Yes, this is. And what can we add? Let's see if we have the expected. That's the one we're going to use. So let's copy that one. So nature of statement. And then, of course, when we know it actually happened, it did start at the 11th, we can remove that one. (2022, 08, 14). Nature statement there. And then I just noticed on the website here, we have some graphics. Is this the logo for this year? Background 9. Header. Let's have a look at the category, see if we can add any image. There was a link to a category here. Let's close out the edition number and the nature of statement twice. A little banner.
Mockup.
Mockup. All right. Yes. So what do we have here? We have illustrations, headers, event designs. I've been looking in these. Let's check the illustrations again.
Maybe we don't have a logo.
No. Maybe these could fit on the image for now, like the general P18.
Maybe. I'm not sure. They are very generic.
Yes, but until we have something more, it could go. Which one was used on the front here? I'm actually going to go with this green one. This is the header green, not the illustration. Well, I'm going to go with this green one. Illustrations 1. Someone can revert me if they don't like it. I guess this might be, let's see. This might cause a constraint, perhaps.
It was SVG, so
yes.
it gives a warning.
Let's see. Good. Add it. No? All right. SVG is
No,
good for
okay.
image. All right. Did you have a banner property, or was that only for Wikivoyage
I
banner?
think it's a Wikivoyage thing.
Let's start
Let's
with the
see.
banner. See.
Maybe we'll
Page
learn something.
banner. Ah, with this one we could use. Lead image about the top, mainly used by Wikivoyage and women in red.
Yeah.
Number of those. So I'm gonna pick one. Here we go. And back, and back, and back. Check out the headers here. And since this one was the one used on the front page, I'm going to go with that one. All right. Oh, now I got a warning though.
Oh.
They
That
don't
should
want
probably be
SVGs in
updated.
banners?
Yeah, it's probably just that it isn't updated for.
Yeah, yes. Well, that's something for another time, I think. At least now we have the dates. We have a little bit more information here. We fixed the countries. So, and also we cleaned up the old ones a little bit. So I think that's going to be it for today.
Okay. So I'm gonna be in the query service today. Partly in another tool. But let's first so I have observed and to some extent seen close to me many cases in Wikidata where people have had not like their work email or like their work phone number put in, but their actual personal information. And that is kind of problematic with living people. And yeah, maybe not a thing that Wikidata should host. So I want to build a tool that is like privacy friendly and such, where people can look up without knowing Wikidata if their information is in there, like their private one, and a way for admins to detect like new items which has this information added to them, so that usually it's like case either people don't want it in there and they having their information actually exposed, and in some cases people are adding it themselves to promote themselves, and admins might want to check the notability. So that's two like tools I want to build in the same area. Look up your own details, and admins watch this private information being posted. So I thought we might do a little bit of querying for that, and see what we can prototype. So about half of the emails in Wikidata are like, at least on humans, are from like very common free services like Gmail, Hotmail, or Outlook, or whatever it's called nowadays, which isn't likely to be an official email when you are employed or something like that. So that's mainly what I want to catch. However, for this prototype where I just want people to look up if their email is in Wikidata, we can essentially look for any email. However, a trick here is that we don't want them to search for their actual email address in Wikidata, because that would expose their email to the log services and Wikimedia servers. So we actually need a way to, this is your email, but isn't your email. No one can check that this is your email, which is a bit of a trick. So let's first get a list of emails here. And as I want filter here for private services, I think we're okay with being able to show this. So let's select humans. I don't think we use a subclass of humans. I don't even think we have those.
Oh, we do have
And it's
millionaires.
Q5. Oops. And that's what I want to do. And then the email. And we want to do something similar for phone numbers, but that's for later. And for the sake of this experiment, let's not pull in people's names. And you see, we got 3,000. We got a bunch of emails here. And so on. Won't go more into them. And what we could do if we just wanted to search for one email here would be to say like Albin at example.com, and it would look, does Albin at example.com exist in Wikidata? But we do not want to do this because we don't want people's email addresses to leave their computer. That's used to necessarily. So what we instead want, we want to kind of hash this email so you got a unique representation which can't be like decrypted, so to say, in the other direction. And then we can do that on another person's computer and compare it. It's easier to show than to explain. And we can actually do this in SparkQL. So we have a bunch of methods to hash numbers. One you might have seen is MD5, but a more complex one is this one, SHA512. And I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to say email. And then go select email SH. Did I get that right? 512. No. There we go. And I'm all over the place. The email as email. And we want the queue number because we want people to be able to find the page where their email is used. So we're still going to select item and run this. Let's see what it will look like instead. Let's see if I should do this instead. Yes. To override the variable. Oh, it didn't work.
I think perhaps that was it. If you try that one, does that work?
I think email might be URL and not string or URI. So I think we might need to do it like this.
Yes.
Is it a string?
Yeah, no, it's not a string. It's a
because
URI.
it uses actually mail to and then the email. Yeah. So we need to turn it into a string like that. Yes. And then we got this hash instead. And if we would in a prototype an application like have the user doing the same, and then we could fetch this list without the email actually being shared and then compare it. So that's what we want to do here. So I can actually start prototyping here. So this is pause. Let me see if I have a banner. Yes, I do.
Yes.
We have shown this in the past, but it has gotten a bit of a makeover, so I thought it was time again. And this is like a programming environment on Wikimedia services that anyone can use. So let's see how we could create a tool like this. The UI is loading. It works even with me being zoomed in. And I can create a bit of a new notebook, it's called, but let's call it a program for now. call it test email, which makes not too much sense. And then let's see. I think we can do something like this. Email is equal to input. If I run this, it gets asked me to do an input. Let's see if I do albin example.com here. Yes, and it appears like it did something. Let's see, can I create a new cell here under? So then we got a variable here, email, which we can use to write an input for if we run it. So if I would run it again, we would be able to write something else. Then we want to do this part where we hash it with this algorithm. So let's do, we need to import hash lib, I'm sure, because it's a function in the library here, in the standard library. And then say another variable hashed email is equal to hash lib. Let's see. I'm guessing it's called that, and then do that to email, the email variable. And let's see. I have a bit of notes here because we need to turn that into an actual string. And let's see what happens if we run this now. Let's see. That did not run it. That did run it. That crashed it as well. 21, not 12. So there we go instead. Strings must be encoded before hashing. Okay, let's see. That I did not have in my notes. Let's see if it's as simple as encode UTF-8 or something like that. A lot of guesswork here. No, that does not exist. What if we just do encode? That seems to have done it. Then let's create a new and hashed email. Let's see if we just says what it is. And here we got this string. So what we can do now is that we take this string and then we would check for it here if it matches something, because someone can't take this, not with today's computers at least, and get the email from it. So no one can see this and know that it means albin@example.com. So we can safely send this to Wikimedia services without, I mean, Wikimedia doesn't store logs and such for very long, but this ensures that even if they would, you would be safe. And this is actually necessarily because if you write tools like this and want to run them on the Wikimedia cloud, like PAUSE is running, then you can't store personal information like that anyway. Then you need to hash it like this. So that is what we're imagining a person would have a program doing on their computer before we could send it off. And I didn't expect it from the beginning, but I imagine we could actually query for this directly. So I just copy
Do
this.
you need to prepend mail to colon here? Because I think that's in the string in the query before you hash it.
That's a really good point. We can actually try this in the query service, I think, to demonstrate. Let's open a new one. So select star where, and we essentially want to see if turning an email URI to string removes the mail to or not. I don't think it should, but we can try it. And then do I have my fake email? No, I do not have my fake email copied. Where is my fake email? There is my fake email. So like that. That's a valid URI. str. We turn that into string. We want to select that, so we need to bind this as a variable. And let's see what it looks like. Yes. So this is a very good point. Let's actually modify or
I'm gonna hide the. We had the pause here so people couldn't see.
Okay, let's.
Did we both press it?
No.
No. All right. There I go. There we see.
So yes, exactly. So we got mail to here even in the string. So we actually need to, when someone had entered it, we don't want them to enter like the URI prefix here. So we actually want to edit the variable here to say email and then do mail to and then say email. Oops. I think that should be the way to do it nowadays. So here we're essentially saying that take the input email here and add this prefix to it. So we're updating the email variable. So if I run this now, there, and then rerun the variable to see what it means now, it should change. Yes, we can see the beginning changing there. And we could actually try to see that this would match with whatever we would have in Wikidata. So we could here do, not there, here do 112, just to ensure that this means exactly what it means in Python, or in this program. So 42 it starts with, let's double check, it starts with 420, exactly like it did over here. So they are the same, but you can't figure out what it means from this. So given that, how can we query for this email string while Wikidata doesn't actually store that? So I think to avoid like showing an actual email address as we query for this, what we can do is that we could prototype this with a set of values. So we could here say email and then do a bunch of fake emails, which we could play around with. So here we could have, let's do them as URIs, is that what Wikidata would store them as? And then let's do Albin at example.com, and let's do mail to phone at com, and that should be enough for us to test with, and this should be URI. So how can we then check only given an email or an encoded email like this? So let's bind this as a variable. Here we got a very long string. Let's just call it hash. So that's our goal for now. The obvious way for me would be to do a subquery here. But let's see. Let's do email. Or can we just bind the email and compare it with an if? If email matches, that might be enough here. Let's try that. So first we want again to turn it into a string like this. And then we want to code it 512, which should be And then we want to use Sparkle's if method here. If this matches the hash. Oh, it's not called bin, it's called hash. Then, oh, is this how we? No, this is not how we use it. We actually do like a compare something here, and then this is
First, yes, if it's true.
first if it's true. So we could just call that no.
Is it double
and
or is it just one equal sign?
I think it's 2. Let's see. We will get an error, and that's if it's true. And this will return this. We would need to bind this to another thing. Bind this if as match. And maybe this would do a trick. So this would take our input here. It would hash both of these emails and compare them. So let's see. No. Let's see if it's 1. There we go. So here we got.
I think you have the order
true,
of false and true.
Indeed. So this should actually be true. And this should be false. So pretending that this means true and this means false, this would have matched this, but it wouldn't have matched this. It might be beneficial. So we don't really care about the email. Let's see how we can use it in this one. So here we got the email, and I think we can actually just copy this part because the values works just like the variables here. So we can. Oh, can I copy this long string? Starting from the end is usually slightly easier. Oops, no, I could too much, but that wasn't too much. Could do like this. And because email here is similar, I think all we could do is item and match. That's all information we need. We don't actually need to say this is the email. So we can see all of this are false because this email address doesn't exist. One way I could imagine this being improved is that we only get like the item that we need back, because there's no need to like give us all the items that has an email address. But then I think we might need to do something else. I think we would need to like do this in a subquery, and then.
Do you think it would time out if you just filter for true?
Oh, you mean I could do a regular filter here? Of course I could just do a regular filter. This is why we're doing this. Filter, and I could do.
I thought you already tried it and it timed out and it went to
No, I haven't tried this at all. I'm doing this live. I had a small note about how dupe and pause. That's
all
it.
Right.
So let's see here. Yes, okay, so if match is true essentially, and I think there's no need, I think we can actually use Boolean values here, like true and false, and then just do filter match. If that's how it's written, let's try it. We should get 0. No matching records from. Let's try use this on our made up list of emails. And let's see, do I need to change something? No. And then we use got albin at example.com. So that's how we can look up an email like this anonymously. Or some as anonymously as we can, because if it is a match, you will get a queue item back, and you would, if you don't want it to be there, you would need to have an admin or even a steward going in there removing it. So this is like the prototype, and I think we can take it one step further, because we can actually build it into a prototype here. So we can make the query here. Put in our actual query here like this, and then get our long hash here, which we want to be able to set by. Did I get that right? No, I did not. Let's do it the sheety method. Is it? I need to encode that. Okay, let's do it like this. And here's a hashed email, because we want to insert it into our query here. But then, because in SparkQL we use these wings, and we have wings here, we actually need to have like double wings, I believe, around all our SparkQL wings. I hope this is the way you do it. Do we have more wings? There, we got another wing. And I'm really proud I was able to guess the function names here before. So let's hope I'm guessing correct again. So that's the query. Then we actually want to make the query here and run it. And let's import another library for this. Import requests, that should be it. And then we want to query against the Wikidata SparkQL endpoint. So I'm going to copy its URL here. And it's not just like query.wikidata.org, it's actually query.wikidata.org/SparkQL, because that's the actual endpoint where queries themselves are sent, not just the UI. And then we want to create a request here. Request.get, and we want to query the URL. We want to send some additional information along with the query. We want to say which format we want to have it in. We want to have JSON, I believe, or CSV. So let's do that. And we want to send, of course, the query itself as well. So query, and then the query variable. Is that how you do it? No, it's not. It's like that. And it looks way more correct. And then we want to get the actual data, and then we can say error, because that's our request variable, and r.json. And that should parse it. So hopefully, if I guessed all of the code right here, it should take this hashed email, insert it into a query, run the query against this endpoint, and store the result in a variable here. So let's run this. It crashed. Of course it crashed. I did not guess everything correct. Why did it crash? It crashed because we didn't get JSON back, I assume. That's odd. Format JSON. Get query data. Can we do something like this? Format JSON, and then I don't think that should make a difference. let's see. Complex JSON loads, no. Let's then do a little bit of debugging here. Let's see if we do print r.text. Let's just pretend we are not getting JSON, we're getting text, and print that so we can see what it looks like. And we see we get a crash. And it appears to be because it sees the double, and it doesn't. Yes, of course. Here's the trick. I'm actually not saying, you can see I got an F here because take this string here and format it with variables I have inside of it. And I'm not having that F here. And we can see turn black here to indicate this is what it should look like. So if I now remove the print and rerun it, yes, and it didn't crash. It has done something. So if I now say data here, we actually get like a result here. So we get mail to albin@example.com, and the value and true, such. We don't get the item because we just select the star here rather than anything else. In the real case scenario here, where we are selecting variables, we could select item. We can't do that with the dummy data here. But let's run this with another email. So if I rerun up here and I say email at example.com, and let's run this. Pending output. What's pending output? See, okay, let's say that's a very important thing. Then are you stopping this? Oh, now I know. I didn't actually input email at. Here's what I did wrong before. I was trying to like run it, but I actually need to press enter here, and then it's done. Then I run this, hashing the email. Then we see what the hash is. We got a new hash. Then we making a query. And then we are running the data. Currently we got true. The email was in our example query. And if I run this instead, we get new matches. So it has results and then new results. So that's what I would do. And then I would take this prototype code and turn it into real code, build a small input field and a UI around it, and let people start using it. So I think that's it for today. We got a great question here. Is this notebook public? I think all notebooks are public. So that's not it. That seems dangerous. Maybe that's it, but it seems there is a. Let me. Yes, here it is. And then I think my account is old enough that it should use username. No, it does not. Okay, I'm gonna share this. What I found. Let's see, banners. So all notebooks created on the Wikimedia Pulse instance are public and can be found here. It's a really cryptic directory in which you can look for things, but that's the best way I know. There might be a way to share it here, but I do not know about it. I don't think it's this, because this is like you can actually run it and do things here among my watcher stuff. So that's one. Maybe it's under view. Let's just double check that. There are plenty of things here, but it doesn't seem to be anything like that. Okay. That was it from me today.
All
So
right.
this is something I do in case I'm making like something basic or basic 2 like this. then I do it like this, and I've just proven to myself that, hey, this seems to work. So let's make a real tool out of this. And yeah.
From 0 to proof of concept in just 30 minutes. And I think we will be back for another couple of weeks, and then we'll have a slight pause in beginning of August. And then we don't know if we're going to run it on Wikimania week yet, but we'll be back next week.
Next week we're back. And until then,
Yeah. Happy editing.
happy editing.